Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we have students now. So let's start. Maybe like because this is not in your regular schedule, so I'm not sure how many students are coming. So we'll finish the rest of the part, okay, of the chapter. We studied about the bacteria in our last class. Today we will do the economic importance of fungi. Is there any doubt from the bacteria part? Hmm? Okay, so if there is no doubt, we can proceed. So what is fungi? Any idea what is the difference between fungi and bacteria? Anushruta?
Fungi have trees-like structure, and bacteria have cells. Everything.
Okay, any other difference, Swapnabit? Hello. Swapnabit, can you hear me? Oh, there's some problem. Okay, so anyways, in general, you have to understand that neither bacteria nor fungi, they contain chlorophyll. Okay, they do not contain chlorophyll as it is mentioned here. So that means they cannot prepare their own food. Okay, they cannot prepare their own food, so they are heterotrophic, okay, in the mode of nutrition. So either they can be saprotrophic, or they can be um, parasitic. Okay, so both of the modes of nutrition are observed in these two classes. Okay, so further, if we compare bacteria and fungi, you will understand that fungi are much evolved than bacteria. Evolved in the sense they are eukaryotes, right? They have a proper nuclear membrane, like true nucleus they have. They are multicellular. Okay. Although yeast is one of the fungi which is unicellular. So, but many fungi are there which are multicellular. They have true nucleus, so they are under eukaryotes. So we can say they are more evolved than the bacteria. Okay, and then this thing we have already read, right? In five kingdom classification, there I discussed the differences. Right now, we'll go in details of fungi. So what are there? So normally you have heard moles, okay, mushrooms, yeast. So what are these? These are all examples of fungi. Okay, so you have to read two types, okay, two categories. So one is mole, another is yeast. Okay, so the most common fungi are moles. We have seen every food product, anything which we keep, like lying on the open. Okay, so there is lots of chance that mold grows over those things, especially if it has little moisture. कोई भी जैसे आप सब्जी रख सकते हो, or you keep anything like which has little moisture, or bread or fruits, anything, it will get these molds, growth of these molds. Okay, so सबसे ज़्यादा commonly you will find moles growing anywhere and everywhere. Okay, so what are the, like, other than that, see, mushrooms, toadstools, these two examples you can remember. Mushrooms and toadstools, you know they are commonly observed in the warm and rainy season. Okay, you can find them in warm and rainy season. ये दोनों ही चीजें important होती है. Like temperature should be little warmer and moisture should be there for the growth of fungi. Okay, few mushrooms are edible, few mushrooms are poisonous also. Okay, so let's see molds. Molds में सबसे important नाम क्या है? Rhizopus. This you should remember. Okay, Rhizopus क्या है? It's a bread mold. जो कॉमन ब्रेड मोल्ड जो ब्रेड पे आता है, growth, that is usually what? Rhizopus. That is the scientific name. So it can grow on variety of things. It is known as common bread mold. That doesn't mean it grows only on bread. Okay, it can grow on many things, like including fruits, animal dung, leather goods. Okay, anything which is warm and humid. Okay, so now the thing is a basic structure of this common bread mold. If you see, so you'll see it is a network of transparent thread like structures. What we call them? Hyphae. Okay, hyphae. See here, these are hyphae. Okay, and if we hyphae is the thread like structure, and if these thread like structures they form a full mesh, entire mass of the threads, entire mass of hyphae together is known as mycelium. Okay, so these two terms you should remember, what is hyphae and what is mycelium. The transparent thread-like structure, network of transparent thread-like structure is hyphae, and a combination or a entire mass of hyphae together, is called as mycelium. So the penetrating hyphae secrete certain enzymes which digest the food in the bread substratum. Obviously, it is growing on food means it is absorbing food, right? It is taking its food from the whatever is lying, जिसके ऊपर भी वो grow कर रहा है. So basically, the hyphae, it will just insert in that particular part and it will secrete what type of enzymes? Extracellular type of enzymes, okay, which will come outside the cell. They will digest the food there, break it down in the simpler forms, and then through the diffusion it absorbs through the skin. Okay, so this type of digestion is called as extracellular digestion, and the enzymes which are used in such digestion is called as extracellular enzymes. You can write also here. Further, here if you see the structure, some more things are shown but not written in your book. For examples, here see, these are spores, and these spores are under a ball-like of structure, right, which is called as sporangium. Okay, sporangium, and the stalk which connects the sporangium to the mycelium or the hyphae, whatever you say. Okay, mycelium is the total mass, so it connects sporangium to the mycelium through what? Through the sporangiophore. These terms also you can just remember. Okay, here in the next paragraph it is written what is the use of these. Okay, so basically when we talk about bread mold, it can have both type of reproduction, asexual and sexual. Okay, so asexual reproduction can start within few days of the growth of the mycelium. As the mycelium grows, okay, then the hyphae becomes erect, kind of, and that erect hyphae, or you can say connection between sporangium to the mycelium, this particular hyphae has a special name, that is sporangiophore. So sporangiophore will be there, and at the tip, tip of the sporangiophore will be swollen. Here you can see, right? It is swollen, and it will contain what? It will contain spores. Okay, so this swollen structure is known as sporangium. Okay, it is usually, when we talk about bread mold, rhizopus, it is usually black in color. And that is why you see black color growth on bread and few things, right? If it is black color mold, then higher chances are there that it will be only rhizopus genus. So because usually this is the most common mold, and that's why it appears black. Because the sporangium is black in color. Okay, and then it contains what? Dark spores inside, which gets matured, and after maturation the sporangium bursts and the spore gets released, and those spores will travel in the air or any medium, and wherever they settle, in the favorable conditions, wherever they get the favorable conditions, there they start growing again. Again they will form the hyphae, then mycelium, then sporangium, sporangiophores. Okay, like that they will again start formation. Okay, so this is how it reproduces. Okay, this is asexual growth. Okay, asexual reproduction. There is sexual reproduction, which is not in your course. That will be discussed in higher classes. Okay, that is very specific to different classes of fungi. Okay, now the second type of fungi, which is discussed here, is yeast, and this yeast is different from molds. You know how these are? Can anyone say how yeast are different from mold?
And they're spherical in structure.
They are
Spherical in structure.
you
They are
can say
multicellular.
spherical. They are not multicellular. They are unicellular. Okay, yeast are unicellular, and mold and other fungi, they are multicellular. Okay, so here you can see they're spherical cells. Okay, yeast are one celled fungi. Okay, they are the only member of fungi which are unicellular. Okay, single celled. Okay, they either stay singly, or they form budding chains. They are observed in form of chains. Okay, and why we call it budding chains? Because the division pattern is through budding, which is one type of asexual method of reproduction, right? So where do we find them occurrence? So obviously they are present everywhere in the atmosphere freely, and they can be present, they can grow in anything which has sugar, or starch, simple sugar. Okay, so they can grow in such places. Okay, and see, they can grow readily on grapes, nectar of flowers, sugarcane juice. You remember sugarcane juice, grape juice? They can be fermented by using yeast, right? Yeast को हम क्या बोलते हैं? Yeast is also known as brewer's yeast. Brewer's yeast, and it is also known as baker's yeast. So bakery industry maybe we use it, and brewery means fermentation, where alcohol production, wine production, all those things are going on. So there also we use yeast, okay, for the production. So it can actually grow on all kind of sugary materials like grapes, fruit juices, sugarcane juices, nectar of flowers, etc. Okay, this is the structure you can see. So this is ovoid shape. Ovoid means something oval types. Okay, and they has a distinct cell wall and nucleus. Okay, they have big vacuole, like one or more. Okay, with the cytoplasm. They have fat vacuoles. Okay, in general, basic cell looks like this. Okay, is there any doubt till now? Am I clearly audible to all of you?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
ma'am.
Okay. Then next coming to the nutrition, तो yeast cell what it takes हमने बता दिया, simple sugar glucose, ठीक है, any sugary material. How it respire, so I told कि it helps in ethanol production. So glucose से ethanol का जो reaction है which we have studied in respiration, okay, that can be that will that is the way how it respire, ठीक है. So yeast respire anaerobically in the absence of air without using oxygen. So this is the funda. Okay, this is a reaction which will take place when yeast is utilizing glucose. It will produce ethanol, 2 molecules of CO2 and 2 molecules of ATP from 1 molecule of glucose. Okay, so from there you can understand economic importance is alcoholic fermentation. Along with that, it is also used in bakery industry for making cakes and all. Okay, so that is also there. Then a few things are there about useful and harmful fungi. So few examples are there. Examples you have to remember. Useful में क्या है? Penicillium notatum. You remember this name? Not all penicillium. Penicillium notatum. Okay. It is used for the production of penicillin. Okay. Penicillium notatum. It is in fact the first penicillin, first antibiotic which was discovered accidentally by using actually the person, the scientist was working on what bacterial culture, and he saw that due to presence of some fungi, accidentally some fungi started growing, and where they were growing nearby areas they were killing the bacteria. And then later he found that it was Penicillium notatum, which is producing certain compound which can actually kill other type of bacteria. Okay. So who was the scientist? Alexander Fleming. So this was the first antibiotic discovered that way. So Penicillium notatum gives penicillin. Harmful fungi में क्या आएगा? Okay. So there are other species of penicillium which can spoil your food. Okay, so here just penicillium they have written. So because it is not given in your book, so you do not you don't need to remember other species. You just write some species of penicillium and aspergillus. Okay, can damage the food. Okay, so penicillium is known as what? Blue mold. Aspergillus is known as green mold. ऐसे. Okay, in general. ब्लूइश कलर का अगर आपको ग्रोथ दिखता है तो पेनिसिलियम का चांसेस ज्यादा है. एस्परजिलस ग्रो करता है तो ग्रीनिश ग्रोथ आती है. ठीक है. अगर आपका ब्लैक ग्रोथ आ रही है मतलब फंजाई की, तो वहां पे राइजोपस होगा. So ये few colors you can understand. मतलब this is just general understanding. And so they can grow on many things and destroy them. Okay, there are some fungi that can cause diseases like ringworm, right? So see here it written also, if you happen to see a greenish fungus growing on outer skin of rotting lemons or oranges, any citrus fruit, okay, then it can be penicillium. Okay, but certainly do not under the impression that it can be used for the penicillin production. Obviously, in general, you have to understand that these um, particular penicillium genus doesn't mean that it will be there are certain species in penicillium which are useful and there are some which are harmful. So we have to very specific with the species and what is its function. Okay. So further, if we see useful role in details, okay. So there are a few points which is mentioned. Antibiotic, as I explained you, Antibiotic is one thing which is useful to us and which is produced by fungi, Penicillium notatum. Okay, here it is said what are the criteria for the good antibiotic. So what should be the criteria? First of all, it should not kill undesirable, like the bacteria which is already there in our body. Okay, that they should not kill. Okay, they should be able to kill a wide variety of pathogens. Okay, producing microorganisms. We call it such antibiotics as broad spectrum antibiotic. Means what? That means, like for example, penicillin is a broad spectrum antibiotic. It can kill not only a single type of bacteria, but many type of bacteria. Okay, and it should not have side effects. So this is that. Broad spectrum का opposite क्या हो सकता है? Narrow spectrum. Okay, narrow spectrum is what? When a particular antibiotic works only on a single type of species. Okay, so that is narrow. So we always prefer that it should be a broad spectrum antibiotic. Okay. Further, if we see role in industry, okay, that was a role in medicine. If we see role in industry, we have already talked about the beverage, right? Alcohol industries. So there, these fungi, like as in form of yeast, it can help. It can be useful for the process of fermentation. It can do fermentation and it can produce ethanol. This ethanol is not directly just ethanol, but somewhat mixture of many things. And then it undergoes a proper process of distillation where you can actually get different type of uh, different type of beverages, like right, like there are whiskey, there are wine, there are rum, there are, okay, many things are there. So everything has different steps, like different alcohol content. Like wine has very less, beer has very less content, but whiskey it has very high 40 and all. 40% is there in whiskey, only 2 to 5% is there in wine and beer. So actually when it is produced by the yeast, it is very less actually. Okay, the obviously a cell cannot bear 40% of alcohol content. If it is like that, it will die. So from here itself you should understand ki if it is that much, then it will die. Here here it is written also. Grapes are crushed and fermented in large vessels. Yeast cell that may be naturally present on grapes are added to carry out the process. Ethanol is produced in a concentration about 12%. This is maximum 12%. Okay, and this much content, is the higher limit. From here, it starts killing yeast cell. So 12% is zyada, individual yeast cell also cannot retain. Okay, so if you see spirits, whiskey, and vodka, and all those things, so there you get very high content of alcohol. How they do? Distillation process. They further distillate and remove the extra, water, moisture, and uh, concentrate the alcohol content. Okay, so that way they make that, but it is clear from itself that it is how much risky for anyone to have such high alcohol content. So there are few characteristics of wine has been discussed. So wine is quickly absorbed in the body. It is mild, as I told you. It do not contain very high quantities of content of alcohol, but if it is consumed in a large quantity, it is also very harmful. Okay, if it is taken as a, what I should say, like a medicine or something, then it can help to the body. Like we have cup syrups or many things where alcohol content is there, but we take it as a medicine, so it helps in certain way. But if you take it on a regular basis or a very large quantity, it can be very, very harmful. Alcohol can actually destroy your liver completely. and the disease is known as liver cirrhosis. This is also important. What happens when we have too much of alcohol? That can completely, destroy our liver. Okay, and the disease is called liver cirrhosis. Okay. Also, this was one of the industry. Second of the industry which I told about yeast is bakery industry, right? That's why we call it baker's yeast. Okay, here we call yeast as a brewer's yeast, BREW. Okay, brewer's yeast, and here we call it as baker's yeast. Okay, so two ways. So bakery industry में क्या करते हैं हम लोग? फ्लावर को डव को आपको मतलब राइज करने के लिए फर्मेंट करते हैं, तो उसमें क्या होता है? फर्मेंटेशन होता है, द सेम रिएक्शन. ओके, and basically CO2 is released. Okay, and this CO2 actually causes the rise, leavening. Okay, leavening in the dough. So that is due to the production of CO2 from the fermentation reaction. Okay, and it makes the cake very spongy. Then apart from bakery, it is also used in cheese production. Okay, cheese sabne khaya hoga, I hope, right? Who all have tasted cheese?
Yes, miss, we have tasted.
और किसी ने नहीं लिया cheese? No one has tasted cheese?
Yes, miss, I have tasted.
Tasted.
Yeah, I hope everyone would have, right? There are different types of cheese. जब आप आगे पढ़ोगे dairy microbiology अगर कभी, so there you will see different types of cheese and different kinds of species are responsible for making different type of cheese. Okay, so here like yeast, they are also yeast nahi, some of the fungi, they are also involved in cheese formation. Okay, so cheese contains what? Cheese contains protein, high quantity of protein, so it is good. Some fat is also there with calcium, phosphorus, vitamin A, and some vitamin B. Okay, so manufacture of cheese includes few steps. So these are steps of cheese formation. Okay, cheese production. So first, what we do, we make curd out of milk by the help of lactobacillus. Then the curd is processed. Processed means the curd is kept in a process where it most of the moisture is removed. जैसे आप छेना बनाते हैं तो उसमें से remove करते हैं ना, तो it's not छेना, but curd में से directly we remove the moisture through a process. Okay, so and then it is called cottage cheese. Then we further add salting to remove further moisture. Okay, and prevent the growth of undesirable microorganisms. And then we keep it for ripening. Ripening is like it is kept at a suitable temperature, humidity, and certain particular specific microorganisms are added, particular strain or something. Okay, and those are added to it to give a specific flavor to the specific cheese. Okay, so the particular bacteria will give a kind of flavor, and then lactic acid bacteria is also put sometimes. Okay, to give it's all about flavor of the cheese, and that flavor comes from the different species. Okay, so that process is ripening. So there are in general 4 steps. Okay, curdling, curd processing, salting, and ripening. So these things, after ripening, your cheese is ready. Okay, then something is written in extra box. Shrijita, can you read?
Yes, miss. Some other industrial uses of bacteria. Bacteria are used in the production of vinegar and in the processing of coffee, tobacco, etc. The fibers for making rope, linen, etc. are obtained by loosening the fibers of hemp and flax by retting, a kind of rotting by bacteria. Curing of hides and skins is also done with the help of bacteria.
Okay, so you can see few words are there, right? Just say it in the production of vinegar, it is used. Then processing of coffee, tobacco, it is used. Then in fibers में loosening fibers, जब आप leather को और rope को मतलब उसके texture को change करते हैं, तो उस process को हम कहते हैं retting. Okay, retting process means kind of it is again fermentation by bacteria to remove the external surface. So it is like loosening the fibers. Similarly, skins, leathers, animal skins, उनके ऊपर भी हम bacteria को we leave it for for making actually outer surface में वो जब कुछ changes करते हैं due to fermentation, it becomes more durable and it can withstand the outer environment easily for a longer time. Okay, so those things are also done by the help of bacteria. Okay, so after this there is last topic is that, yeah, so mushroom cultivation. So fourth industrial use is mushroom cultivation. Mushroom is one of the fungi, right? So mushroom is used in food industry, we know that, right? Mushroom soup, and mushroom is added in even in your pizza, many places, right? So mushroom is used in food industries. So how it looks like this, the structure which is shown here. Here, this particular type of mushroom is called button mushroom. It looks like button. Okay, this is button mushroom. There are different types of mushrooms also. Okay, see, then this is puff ball. This is different. Okay, so इसके अलावा mushrooms में क्या होते हैं, एक paddy straw mushroom होता है, then oyster mushroom होता है, ऐसे different types of mushrooms हैं. 3 are given to you. I think button mushroom, which is white button mushroom, this is important. This is most common, which is taught in mushroom, that is Agaricus bisporus. Okay, Agaricus is in general, अगर Agaricus नाम आता है, that is mushroom. Okay, this is button mushroom, Agaricus bisporus. Apart from that, what is there? Paddy straw mushroom and oyster mushroom. Okay, so these 3 names you can remember. At least you remember Agaricus bisporus, the white button mushroom. So you should remember, not all mushrooms are edible. They are used in food industries, but few are edible. Okay, and many are there which are like poisonous, either mildly or severely. Okay, and edible ones, are specifically Agaricus bisporus. This is the most common edible mushroom, okay, which is taken all over the world. Okay, and mushroom cultivation is a big industry, okay, in the agriculture. So here it is given about the mushroom cultivation only. Here you can see, right? Mushroom cultivation doesn't need light, क्योंकि आपको पता है there is no what, no pigments are there, right? No chloroplast, no chlorophyll, anything.
Ma'am, your voice is cracking.
Is it cracking to everyone, or it is clear to others? Hello, am I audible to everyone?
No, miss, it's clear out here.
Okay, if it is clear for others, then maybe Radhika, your network has some problem. Please reconnect or see, correct, check it. So when we talk about mushroom cultivation, it doesn't need sunlight, right? Because fungi, they cannot use sunlight for the production of their food. They are heterotrophic. So they do not need sunlight, and therefore we can see they are cultivated indoors, right? Inside. Okay, and they do not need lots of area also. So they can be grown on substrate or compost based on various agricultural waste. Okay, so anything decaying matter, organic matter, fertilizing, मतलब कुछ भी ऐसा होगा, they can grow आराम से. You know, mushroom can grow in any decay organic compounds पे. And especially when we are talking about agaricus, okay, so when we do the cultivation of agaricus, there are few steps which is given here. First is composting, then spawning, then casing, cropping and harvesting, and then preservation. Okay, so composting means what? To prepare a compost means the fertilizer kind of, so which will have a proper proportions. So it usually contains these things like wheat paddy straw, wheat straw, or chicken manure, some organic and inorganic fertilizer, and it is kept for composting at 50 degrees centigrade for a week. Okay, after that what is then? Mushroom seeds. Okay, मशरूम सीड्स मतलब क्या होंगे? ये माइसीलियम ही होगा जो कि फर्दर ग्रो होने वाला है, राइट? तो उनको हम क्या करते हैं, कंपोस्ट के ऊपर डाल देते हैं. दे विल बी लाइक स्प्रेड, like they will be just put on the compost, and automatically they'll get the environment, suitable environment, they'll spread within few days only, because fungi, they grow very fast. Okay, and then what will happen? Casing. Third is casing. Spawning means just spreading the mushroom seeds over the compost, right? Casing is what? A thin layer of soil is spread over the compost. ठीक है, इनको डालने के बाद you just put a little very very thin layer of soil over the mushroom seeds. ठीक है, so this is very important. Why? It gives support to the mushroom, provides humidity, prevents quick drying. Okay, helps to regulate temperature. This is the reason, in fact, जब आप किसी कभी आपने अगर gardening की होगी, तो whenever we put seeds, okay, whenever we put seeds, we put a little deeper in the soil. It is not kept just on the top of the soil, right? Similarly, even the mushroom seeds, when you are putting, you have to put and just cover it with a thin layer of the soil, because it always provides humidity and doesn't allow it for the quick drying. Okay, so we don't want soil to dry or seed to dry, right? And then cropping and harvesting means when it is grown, then how will crop it, how will harvest it? It is not like paddy जिसको हम कट करके हार्वेस्ट करते हैं. ठीक है, सो एक्चुअली इनका क्या होता है, आपको मशरूम्स का जो हेड पोर्शन है बेसिकली, जो कि स्पोरेंजियम तो नहीं बोलना चाहिए, बट मशरूम का अलग, मतलब ये वाला जो पोर्शन है यही हम खाते हैं, लाइक हेड पोर्शन, नॉट द स्पोरेंजियम फोर पोर्शन, राइट? So mycelium, a network of fibrous mass, it grows within 2 to 6 weeks, and they have heads, or we call them button, because it is a button mushroom. Okay, and then when it grows till a proper size, then it is taken out. Okay, it is just taken out, and then you have to preserve it. It is important because it can it can get it is perishable types, no? It will get destroyed within few days if it is not preserved properly. Okay, so these are highly perishable, and therefore the shelf life समझना चाहिए. This is also one word which is used in food technology very much. Shelf life का मतलब क्या होता है? That means if the time for which a particular food material, can be kept on the shelf in the sense in a container, or can be stored, okay, without getting perished. Okay, that is the shelf life. जैसे कि अगर हम बोलें कि nuts या फिर cashew, इन चीजों की shelf life कितनी है? बहुत ज्यादा है. ठीक है, बट इफ वी टेल कि हम ऑरेंज जूस का शेल्फ लाइफ कितना है? बहुत कम है, right? Normally if we keep them, it will be like it will get destroyed, or it can be perished in one day only. But your sugar or your dry things, okay, they can have a very long shelf life. So basically for these things which have very high moisture content, okay, so they can even fruits they can ripen and then they can slowly get completely destroyed types. So to increase that shelf life, we do preservation. That's why most of the drinks, most of the things which you get in the uh, shops now, uh, they have preservatives. Without preservatives and without preservation process, you cannot actually keep the things for a long time. So to increase the shelf life of any particular food, we do certain preservation technique. We use something. Okay, so there are many type of techniques. Okay, among which three are given here, like vacuum cooling. This is one thing, like taking out all the air and chilling it. Okay, so that is vacuum cooling. And then there's gamma radiation, that is it will kill all the microbes there. Okay, and then it is stored at very low temperature, so that, because why anything will get perished? Why? Because there are certain microbes which are using, and again the reactions are occurring, and इसलिए आपको bad smell आने लगता है थोड़ी देर के बाद, right? तो हमको क्या करना है? We have to stop the growth of such bacteria or such microorganisms, okay, जो कि already उसमें हैं, or which will be there, which will be present in everything around us, because it is there in air, water, everything, right? So we have to reduce their growth. So whatever techniques can reduce the growth of microbes will be useful for preservation. Okay, like vacuum cooling, like radiations, UV radiations, gamma radiations, low temperature, very low temperature, freeze drying. Okay, freeze drying in solution of citric acid, ascorbic acid. Citric acid भी क्यों? Why citric acid? Anyone? बता सकते हैं? अरे कुछ तो बोलो अश्मिता.
Miss, maybe its chemicals are harsh to the microorganisms.
Okay, anyone else? Actually, citric acid or ascorbic acid, these are acids now. They lower down the pH. So as they lower down the pH, many of the organisms which can grow on neutral pH, they cannot grow. So that is one thing. What is freeze drying?
And freezing.
What?
Freezing.
Freezing. It's not freezing. Actually, freezing means directly freezing. Okay, freeze drying is actually a process. It's a very important process. We call it technically lyophilization. Okay, it is scientifically known as lyophilization or freeze drying. Okay, or we also call it, मतलब different words are there. In short, meaning ये होता है कि freeze मतलब very low temperature and drying मतलब dehydration. Two techniques are applied at the same time. At a very low temperature, we dehydrate the substance. Dehydrate means उसके water को fully remove कर देते हैं, water content को. Okay, so it is basically at very low pressure we remove. I'm not going in detail of the things, but you can just remember from the word that at a very low temperature we dehydrate. Okay, it is low temperature and dehydration. Okay, two things occur at the same time. Okay, so these three processes are given, so you can remember it. Further, what is the nutritive value of mushroom? मशरूम से क्या क्या मिलता है आपको? विटामिन्स मिलते हैं, मिनरल्स मिलते हैं. ठीक है, इसमें और भी चीजें होती हैं लाइक सम ऑफ योर विटामिन्स. नियासिन कौन सा विटामिन होता है? एनीवन? हैव यू हर्ड? इट इज विटामिन B3. ठीक है, विटामिन बी कॉम्प्लेक्स में बहुत सारी चीजें आती हैं, बायोटिन, नियासिन, ठीक है, एंड पेंटोथेनिक एसिड. सो विटामिन बी का बहुत सारे टाइप्स यू विल गेट. ठीक है, and even if you cook they are retained. Okay, cooking में, canning में, dehydration में. So actually preservation हर एक product का specific होता है. जैसे अगर कोई product में बहुत ज्यादा proteins हैं, ठीक है, हाई प्रोटीन्स हैं, तो उनको हम हीटिंग का प्रिजर्वेशन नहीं देते हैं, क्योंकि प्रोटीन्स डीनेचर हो जाएंगे, तो हमको जो मिलना चाहिए एक्चुअली द बेनिफिट ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन वी वोंट गेट. इसीलिए डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ प्रिजर्वेशन टेक्निक्स अप्लाई की जाती हैं. ओके, सो हियर व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट मशरूम्स, वहां पे आप देख रहे हो विटामिन और मिनरल्स हैं. ठीक है, तो विटामिन और मिनरल्स यूजुअली इतनी जल्दी विटामिन फिर भी होते हैं कुछ कुछ, बट मिनरल्स डिस्ट्रॉय नहीं होते हैं. तो सम ऑफ द कुकिंग, कैनिंग या डिहाइड्रेशन प्रोसेस में भी दे आर रिटेन्ड. Okay, so it contains certain proteins, 3% proteins. What proteins are there? That is important. It is like given in your book. ठीक है, niacin, pantothenic acid and biotin. So remember this also. ठीक है, ये question में आ सकता है आपके. ठीक है, is it clear? Any doubt? Anyone? Is there any doubt? Ashmita, Shrijita?
No, miss, no doubt.
No doubt. So this is actually your last chapter, right? We are done with the syllabus. Okay, so please go through the syllabus properly, and please give me in the group itself the chapters which are not coming for you. Okay, and next week you are coming, right? Tuesday you all are coming for offline classes. Please try to come for offline classes Tuesday. Okay, can I hear from all of you?